Okay, so the first part of the opener today is just basically a quick... Okay, so today's opener, the first two problems convert to a decimal, round to 4 places if necessary. It's just a quick little review of what we did in the beginning of the year when we were working on some Khan Academy topics. So, as Michael was telling us as we were first getting started, in order to change a fraction into a decimal, you're going to take your numerator and divide it by your denominator. So what that means, you're going to divide your top number by your bottom number. So when you take 3/4 and you go to change it to a decimal, you're going to take 3 divided by 4. And what do you get when you do that? Yeah, 0.75. Now, is this 4 numbers past the decimal place? Nah, it's only 2 numbers past the decimal place. So I don't need to worry about rounding for this particular one. The next one I have 3/7. So I want to change 3/7 to a decimal. So the first thing I'm going to do is what? How do I change a fraction to a decimal? Yeah, divide my numerator divided by my denominator, my bottom number. So what's 3 divided by 7? A lot of numbers. What do we get? Say it a little bit louder. 5, 7, 1, no, 4, 2, 9. Okay. Now, Dacia's like, do we have to write that whole thing? No. What's the directions say to do? So 4 places. So what number is 4 places past a decimal? The 5, right? So if I look, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to underline that 5, and I'm going to put a line through everything else. I'm going to use the number directly to the right of the 5 to see if I'm going to round that up or if it's going to stay the same. So is the number directed to the right of my 5 or greater? Is this 7 5 or greater? Yeah. So if that's yes, then that 5 here goes to a, if we're going to round, and the number next to that 5 is 5 or greater, what happens to that 5? Does it round up or does it stay the same? It rounds up. Now, if it was less than 5, like let's say it was a 4 next to it, it would stay the same. So for rounding, 3/7 rewritten as a decimal rounded to the nearest 10,000th place value is 0.4286. Can any of you guys read this number to me correctly?
I do believe after decimal you call it like tenths.
Yeah. So the 4 is going to be in your tenths place value. The 2 is going to be in your what place value? What's after tenths? Hundreds. Then what? Then what? 10,000. There we go. Nice. All right. Let's take a look at the next part. So this next part here is adding square roots. This is what we did last week. Reason why I keep throwing it at you is because this will be on your test, November-ish. In the next week and a half, 2 weeks, week and a half, you guys are going to have your next test. So when we're adding and subtracting square roots, the first thing I need to do is rewrite each of the square roots in simplest form. In order to rewrite the square root in simplest form, I first have to do what to each radicand? Factor, yeah. So what 2 numbers can you multiply together to get 8? 2 and 4. Good. So I circle my 2's because they're all prime, and I move forward. We lose our pencil. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I go to the next radicand. 49. What 2 factors can I multiply together to get 49? Yeah, 7 and 7. Those are both prime, so I'm going to circle them. And then 50. 5 and 10. Okay? When I go to drop down, I'm going to put them all under one square root sign, right? No. That's correct. Because I'm adding and subtracting. Remember, adding and subtracting, they each get their own square root sign. So, I'm going to put my equal sign for the factors of 8 that I circled. What do I put on under my square root sign? Okay, what do I bring down? The plus sign. Square root sign. What do I put under this square root sign? What's another way that I could have written that? 7 squared. Then what do I bring down? Minus sign. Another square root sign. And what factors go under this square root sign? Good. Now from here, I have all my factors under the square root sign. I'm going to circle my factor pairs. What happens with each of these factor pairs that I circle? What happens with each of the factor pairs that I'm circling? Yeah, it cancels with the square root sign and moves where? What's that term for the outside? Coefficient. So let's rewrite each of these square roots into simplest form now. So the square root of 8, rewritten in simplest form, is going to be what? 2 square root 2. Then I bring down my plus sign. The square root of 49 is going to be what? Just 7. Because the 7 canceled with the square root sign, nothing else was left under the square root sign. So the square root of 49 is called a perfect square. And then I'm going to bring down my minus sign. And then the square root of 50 in simplest form is going to be what? No. You're saying them backwards. 5. Yeah, look at the pairs that you canceled. 5 square root. Now, what's stuck on the inside? 2. No, you did a really good, that's a common mistake. I am almost done, or you guys are almost done. So now I have 2 square root 2 plus 7 minus 5 square root 2. This is where we actually get into the part where we either add or subtract based on like terms. Now, how do I know if I have like terms? What do I look at? Not the numbers on the outside. The inside. What are the numbers on the inside called? The radicans. So do I have any like terms based on the radicans? What are they? And what type of 5 is that? Yeah, we always got to take that sign in front of it with it. Now, I'm ready to go ahead and simplify. I want to do this in order from least to greatest. So what's going to be my smallest number that I want to start with? So if I'm going to put my answer in order from least to greatest, am I going to start with my radicand, like my square roots, or the number that's by itself? Yeah, the number by itself. Because it doesn't have a radicand, it's going to be the smallest as far as radicands go. Okay? So I bring down my 7. It's a positive 7 because there's a plus in front of it. So I just bring that down. Now I go ahead and combine 2 square root 2 minus 5 square root 2. So we're going to look at our coefficients here, our front numbers. So we're going to look at 2 minus 5. What does that equal? 2 minus 5.
Oh, 2 minus 5.
Negative 3. And then square root, what's my radicand? 2. Yeah, our radicand stays the same. And then you're going to box it. Yeah, do you see where I got that? Because I looked at my outside numbers then. So I have 2 minus 5. All right, let's look at the next. So the next two, we're multiplying square roots. The square root of 12 times the square root of 75. When I multiply square roots, according to our note sheet, the first step I need to do is what? Multiply what? No. What's our note sheet say? Multiplying square roots. What's step 1 say to do? Multiply coefficients. Do I have any coefficients in this one? No. So then I skip to step 2, which Daisha was saying is factor. Well, I think Daisha, Kyle, and Kelly are going to be okay on the quiz. The rest of you guys are concerning me. Okay, so then we go to factor the 75. What 2 numbers can I multiply together to get 75? Say again. 5 and 15. And then for 15 we have 3 and 5. Now the second part of the second step is to do what? Daisha may not answer, Kelly may not answer, and Kyle may not answer. Nope. I need to hear from some other people. So when we go to multiply these, and after we factored them, what's the second part of step 2 in your notes say to do? Damon? What do I do from here?
What else sound called?
Be a little more specific for me, bud.
What is it? Yeah.
How many square root signs am I going to draw? Nice. So I'm going to draw one square root sign. And what do I do with this one square root sign?
That's multiplication.
Mm-hmm.
Put the numbers in there, all of them.
Put all the numbers in there.
In the lowest grades.
Good. So that means I'm going to write what exactly?
2, top 2, top 3, top 3, top 5.
You sure? So we have 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. You were sure. Okay? And then the last step, according to our multiplying square root notes, is go ahead and simplify as normal. So if I'm going to simplify as normal or as usual, what's the next thing I'm going to do here, Jaden? Or Alex, go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to pair them. I'm going to circle my pairs and show that the second number cancels with the square root sign because square and square root are inverse operations. Now, with each of these pairs that I circled, they move to where? Outside, which is called the coefficient. So what's going to be my coefficient? Times. Times. Do I have a radicand? Do I have anything left the square root? No. Jalen, you don't have any of this down. So then what's 2 times 3 times 5? So 2 times 3 is?
30.
30. Good. Okay? So if you miss something, make sure you go back and fix it.
You should put 60.
What I do?
Put a 60.
Oh, geez, why did I put 60? Why was I thinking 60? Where did 60 come from?
Your mind.
I know, but why? Why was that number in my mind?
Because that's
There's so many questions on the quiz tomorrow.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. McFarland. Yes, you have 60 questions on the quiz tomorrow. That is why.
60 questions. Okay, I would not be here.
And I expect you all to do it in 18 minutes. Yes.
Why didn't you do it like that?
Because you missed something. Because when you multiply, they all go under one square root sign.
Why?
Because that's just the rules for multiplication. It's what we learned on Tuesday.
Alright.
Okay? So we'll fix it and we'll come back and look at it. Oh, shoot. Last one. I don't know why I deleted that one, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, the last one here. 5 square root 18 times 2 square root 60. Jair, you've been awfully quiet. What's the first step I'm going to do when I'm multiplying square roots?
We already did this one.
Multiply 18 times 2.
No, you're close. What's step 1 according to your multiplying square root note sheet?
Oh, we did factory.
No. For the love of Jesus, you guys, get your note sheets out. Quit guessing. I have you write notes down for a very great reason. Every last one of you guys, get your yellow note sheets out. I want to see your yellow note sheets out. Get them out. Get them out. Don't sit there, Jair. After you didn't give me the right answer, get the note. That's not your note sheet.
I already finished it.
Thank you. I have somebody with good listening ears. There's another one. There's 2 more. There's 3 more. 4. Very slowly 5. Alex, where's your note sheet, man? Get it out. It's like you and your ID that I'm going to write you up for still. Okay, Jair, read step 1 to me.
Multiply the coefficient.
There we go. Multiply your coefficients. What are your coefficients?
5 and 2.
5 and 2, which equals?
10.
10. There. Now, Jalen, what do I do? You even had your hand up. You know.
You must have, what's called thing? Multiply the record. No. What's called?
Look at step 2.
Oh, factor the record.
Yeah, factor the radicands. Go ahead and do that for me.
Oh, I just didn't pay the answer.
Just factor the 18 for me. What 2 numbers can you multiply together to get
3
18?
and 6, and then you circle the 3, right?
You
And
do.
then you put the 6. And there'll be 2 times 3. And
That's right.
then you circle 2 and 3.
Okay. For the 60, Kira, What two numbers can I multiply together to get 60?
6 and 10.
6 and 10. Keep going.
10, 5 and 2. Circle, go
Ah.
5 and 2.
There we go. I'm like a step behind you. What'd you say for 6?
6 and 10.
Oh, I got that. And 10, you said.
Factor 5 and 2.
Okay.
Circle 5 and 2.
And then, what do I need to do yet?
Really, right about underneath the almost square root sign. Oh, the 6. I forgot all
That's
about
all right.
it. 2 and 3.
2 and 3. There we go. Okay. Almost done with step 2. What's the rest of step 2, Jalen?
Oh my gosh.
What's the rest of step 2?
Combine the factors.
Okay, so I'm going to combine all the factors. How many square root signs am I going to make?
1.
That's right. He would have said 2. I would have really yelled. Okay, so I'm going to take all these factors that I circled and put them in order from least to greatest under one square root sign because I'm multiplying. So I'm going to start with 2. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put 2 times 2 times 2. Then I'm going to come and look. How many 3s do I have? 1, 2, 3. So 3 3s. 1. How many 5s do I have? Just 1. And then the last step, according to my notes, what does my last step say to do? Simplify as normal. So if I'm going to go ahead and simplify as normal, what do I do here? Circle my pairs. Okay? Now, when I circle my pairs, what are they joining?
They doing the outside of the square root.
Good. I already have one coefficient on the outside, right? What is that? Bring it down. Then what's joining that 10? And then what?
That 5.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's the other pair that I circled?
3. That's what I just said.
3. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Then I'm going to draw my square root sign. What's stuck on the inside yet?
That 5.
What else?
That other 3 and that 5.
Go in order.
Oh, that 2, 3, and the 5.
There we go. So 2, 3, and 5. Last step, I'm going to simplify the last part of this one, I'm going to simplify my coefficient. So 10 times 2 is, what's 10 times 2? 20. 20 times 3 is, maybe that's where that 60 came from. Square root, what's my radicand? 2 times 3? 2 times 3? 6 times 5? And there's your final answer.